Hey, hi, hello, hello. We are reading some new weekly Shonen Jump chapters, starting with the latest Boku no Hero Academia. These came out on September 18th, which is a little confusing. That's the Friday. Normally they come out on the Sunday, so I thought I was just like a little bit late, but actually I'm like more late. So I'm a little confused, but whatever. Uh-oh. The thing isn't working again. Oh, there we go, there we go. Okay, okay. Yeah, page 2. Okay, sweet. Okay, so. The Shigaraki Deku fight is hitting some pretty insane climax here. Deku has just unlocked another one of the One for All powers, inheriting his previous, the one previous to All Might's, the mother of Shigaraki, whose name is totally blanking out in my mind, but she had the ability to float. So now Deku can just float too. And I really, I don't know how this is gonna go. Like, I still kind of see this like ending in a standstill, ending in kind of a mutually destructive stalemate. It just seems too climactic, too much like the very end of the entire series for either of them to definitively win right now. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Deku has grabbed a lot of pro heroes out of the quickly dusting and destructing ground so that they don't get dusted too. This is certainly going to do wonders for his like kind of overall fame and reputation. This is some top tier heroics right now. You're saving the life of Endeavor, for crying out loud. Okay, but is he able to maintain like all three powers at once? Take care of Gran Torino and the rest. He plunks them back down. Endeavor is kind of pissed off. Number one hero should be up there. It should be me. And he needs to keep his distance from that creep. He's no longer being held back by Erasure. This can keep Shigaraki off the ground. So yeah, Deku is both the prime target in this moment and also the best equipped to actually deal with him. Which is awkward. Not really sure. You like the sky that much? Good, because after I steal One for All, I'll send you straight to heaven. Same goes for that old fool and the others down there. So this is also an interesting point. We don't really know exactly how All for One like absorbs quirks. We've only kind of seen this in the shadowy laboratories and stuff, creating the Nomu, the work of the Doctor, injecting all these other quirks into Tomura. So I don't know if it's something that can happen just like that as soon as he touches Deku, he can somehow just absorb All for or One for All. But it's kind of like an additional countermeasure that Deku has, that Shigaraki doesn't just want to dust him remotely at the very least. He doesn't want One for All to kind of crumble away with the rest of Deku's body. He's got to keep them alive. He's got to keep them alive and at least long enough to extract this power. She mentions here, once I steal it, I'll send you straight to heaven. So I don't know, more and more it seems like Deku is like the perfect counter to Shigaraki in this moment. Okay, Deku responds back, you're not gonna hurt them anymore. Ooh, crazy shot here. So Deku is reeling in Shigaraki with the black vine. And then he's going to use the double acceleration of him coming in and his fist to just completely clock him, I guess. Somewhat akin to Tomorrow's Joe, his famous counterpunch attack. That has to help with his training. So what should we do? Some advice about handling my new power. Being like a pro already. Whoa, why does he have an afro? So why are the three of them there? I think we can probably deduce this. Sero, of course, has his Spider-Man-esque tape extender, which makes sense that Deku wants to kind of learn how to grapple things at a distance. Same with, Frog Girl here, whose name has escaped my mind as well. And then Iruka, I think, because she can float stuff to make like prime targets for Deku to try to grab and manipulate. This is quite the charming, like nice schoolyard friends helping friends, very low-key, chilled out type adventure that We've gone a long time without seeing, and for this flashback to happen right in this super climactic moment is quite shocking to me. Keep losing in a training exercise we call kacha with a black whip. But dealing with fast-moving targets, since you got a similar quirk. Right. Yeah. It looks like tapping Deku is maybe an understatement for what Bakugo is doing when he wins these games. When explosions come into play. Tell me what I can do. Still learning how to use my wires. Aizawa-sensei, yeah. Eraserhead certainly has a very similar thing too with his binding wraps. I'm going to teach him about body control while breaking in midair. Deku's already good at bouncing around. I don't know about that. He's good at like exploding himself in different directions by using air impact from punches and stuff, but it's not a super nuanced form of movement or control, I would say. Needs to advance mobility in midair, yes. Deku is busy. This is, I guess, happening at the same time as that Black Fog investigation. Of course, lots of ramifications from that still kind of trickling out and lurking behind the plot. We got everyone's moves written down, Sensei's too. Some common ground in terms of how we use our bodies. This is fun. I really like this idea of finding kind of like a new commonality between a bunch of students who we already know and love. Like, when have one of the three of these ever really been associated, and yet by kind of connecting them all to Deku's powers, to Black Whip, and to the other things he's just learning how to do, we see that there's like some common ground between them. There's another new connection that can be formed. So they're floating around. Imagine you're swimming through the air, but keep your arms and legs balanced. Now he's moving himself around, but it's not just like pow, pow, the hippity-hoppity movement, but a more nuanced 3D maneuvering gear type stuff. Stay up in the air and get some coaching on Black Whip. So this is All Might's strat because he knows float is coming. That by replicating it with the zero gravity quirk, you can get a feel for what it's going to be like. Nice. Conceptualizing what it's like to fly could lead to unlocking it. Right. In the same way that Black Whip first came out, because he just wanted some sort of long distance move, some sort of projectile. It just kind of happened before he even realized. Can't keep fooling people forever. This ain't like when it was just super strength. Pretty soon the cat's going to fly out of the bag. Not telling anyone of anything beyond Black Whip. Training should prevent the next power from exploding out the way this went. Interesting. And now you seem to understand how someone who has great power bestowed on them needs to think very carefully about how it puts others at risk. It's not only the wicked who seek power. Ooh, this is very interesting. In the notebook about the successors, your summary of the fourth was kind of half finished, only that one. Meanwhile, you wrote down detailed notes for the others, like the cause of death for the 5th, 6th, and 7th. So, of course, the 7th is the float quirk. The 5th and 6th, I don't know, I can't quite map them, but it's very interesting to me that the 4th, not like the first or the most recent or the one that he had the most attachment to, that being the one before him, or, you know, it seems very arbitrary. It seems like it kind of takes place at an arbitrary point in the past, and that the connection between that point and the present isn't very clear. So I wonder, like, is there a villainous person that just happened to have One for All at some point that is now linked within these successors, and there might be some urge that still manifests in Deku? Something like that could be really cool. Because, like, right now, like, it's very interesting, like, lore-wise, and it has this nice spirit behind it, but functionally, on a very, like, kind of plot level, this whole idea of the successors and inheriting their quirks is just, like, a very easy way to be like, okay, now Deku can do this. Okay, now Deku can do that. Oh, guess what? He can fly. and it seems like almost, like, too good to be true. So this way, like, seeding that there could be, like, a conflict that emerges specifically because of this bit of lore, because of this plot point. It's really cool. So what's going on? And when I brought it up, you didn't tell me everything, huh? Is it? Did you figure out something about One for All? Not yet. I don't want to speculate and talk about things I'm not sure of because I'm worried for him. You are too. Oh, that's a cute moment. Just deep down, he doesn't take himself into account, you know? He's always been like that. Now he can do so much more. Something doesn't feel right. It makes me want to keep him at arm's length. Back then, I ignored my own weakness, so I ended up bullying him. Now he's sincerely helping out with his training. That's a way of trying to atone. Okay. Well, I'm sure he doesn't see it that way. I said, you and Endeavor are a lot alike. I was talking about that change. Couldn't take a good look at himself either until I wound up like this. Get a chance to talk eventually. Not in a position to say much. This is quite crazy. Like, think about the route that this flashback has taken. Now I'm not even sure like whose flashback it is. We saw Deku trying to remember how to like more nuanced control himself in the sky while fighting with Shigaraki Tomura, the series' largest villain, by the way. And then we had this flashback of him, you know, remembering, oh, this is how I did it during training, which then delved suddenly into Bakugo interrogating All Might about the fourth holder of One for All, and then now has switched into this like discussion of Endeavor's character, which then turns out to be quite relevant to the situation they're in. Like, you know, Endeavor is there, he's having this moment of crisis and frustration. He's trying to figure out what he ought to do in this scenario. It's quite intense. I at first I thought this was such an amazing or sudden departure, but it's quite amazingly well connected to like everything going on. Okay. So here, Endeavor and Bakugo united in doing what they can to help Deku. Deku smashing through Tomura with a flying kick. Looks like he's adapting to my 100% attacks and taking hits, but his wounds are healing slower. The damage is sticking. The last two 100% attacks wrecked my left arm. Now, Shigaraki now possesses All for One. Another just amazing like perspective shot. Before I was saying like, uh-oh, when the characters start flying, the choreography becomes less interesting, but they're proving me wrong here. These are some really amazingly dynamic shots. All for One is a power passed down for the sole purpose of beating All for One. It has to go down here. Now is the moment to let it all out. Everything that One for All has to offer. So this could be the birth of yet another quirk within Deku. Just this urge to let everything out. I don't know. Could it be the fourth? This one that was hinted at? No matter what happens to me. Okay, this is getting kind of ominous. Between this oblique reference to the fourth inheritor, to these themes of Deku's willingness to self-sacrifice, to how this is almost becoming concerning, the way that he so often disregards his own safety, his own body. I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know what it's suggesting or what that means for the overall course of the fight. Yeah, I don't know. I think what they're trying to do is muddle the power levels as much as possible so that no matter how it ends, I still think it'll be some sort of mutually destructive stalemate where both sides are kind of reduced, and then you wonder where the next skirmish is going to be. But they're really like doing a lot to be like, well, you know, Tomura was only at 70%, but then Deku went kind of crazy and hurt himself. But then Endeavor wasn't like really at all operational power. Oh, but Gigantomachia wasn't there. Like, to make it seem as ambiguous as possible as to who will win in the next fight based on what they've seen today. Something like that. I don't know. I'm very excited. Let's look forward to next week's, which I don't know. Is it going to come out on Friday again? What was up with that? I'm going to go, I'm going to check on Friday at least and see. Yeah, good chapter. Bye-bye for now.